looks like we've got some people that have joined us, so we'll get started here.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. This is number 2 of our destination series with Worldwide Trekking. And our destination series will focus each week on a specific destination. So this week we're going to focus on Patagonia, and I'm going
Woo.
to share my screen. Yeah, Patagonia. So yeah, Patagonia is a place that we go this time of year. It's going into their summer, and we fly down to South America, to the far, far south end of South America. And what we do is, let's see here. There we go. We spend about 8 days trekking in Torres del Paine National Park and going through Bernardo Higgins National Park and spending some time in the area that's just outside of the national park, in and out of Punta Arenas and Puerto Natales, Chile. So I want to introduce and thank Leslie for joining us today. Thank you, Leslie.
Yeah, happy to be here, Dean.
So Leslie is our, her and Christian are our operations managers down in Chile, and they do a fantastic job. Leslie does an amazing job for us, helping with all of our logistics, our local transportation, our local guides, and all of the little details that help us come together and make an amazing trip. I know that she loves sea kayaking. I know that she loves trekking and hiking, and she's also an amazing cook. And I think you enjoy gardening too, right?
I do. I love all those things, Dean, Yeah.
We'll get into it. We'll go through some of the details, and we'll talk a little bit more about those as we go. So this is South America. We're looking at coming way down to the very, very southernmost area of the continent. And our flights from the United States, which is how most of our travelers travel, come in through Santiago, Chile. It's where you would clear customs. It's where you would connect. And we do have options for people to spend a night or two there and do a Santiago City tour. And then you connect on a domestic flight down to Punta Arenas. And if you look on this map, Punta Arenas is right down in the very southern end. And then we drive 3 hours north up to the small village of Puerto Natales. So this is a picture from when I arrived last year, and I thought it was kind of funny, so I included it. Leslie, can you tell us about these local guys here and his history or anything about them?
Well, I can see you know way more about them, Dean. You look amazing. Why I never seen this before. This is so amazing. So, well, yeah, these are the Selknam people. Okay, it's a little hard to pronounce, Selknam. And they were the indigenous people that lived in the southernmost part of Patagonia. So the south of Patagonia, the Argentinian and Chilean side. Um, it's quite interesting because they were some of the last native people that were encountered by the Europeans in the whole American continent. So, and the way, they're very particular because of the way they painted their bodies,
Right.
so they had this body paints and different types of costumes that they used for ceremonial reasons. So they had different dances and ceremonies. One of the most amazing, most famous ceremony was the Hyena Ceremony, and that's what all this dressing is all about. So
I kind of cheated. I didn't use any body paint. I just stuck my face
I
through the
know,
little hole.
but I love your face. You look very happy there.
Yeah, we try to have fun on our trips, and that's the big part about it. And I think coming into Punta Arenas myself as an explorer, I really enjoy, the history of Ferdinand Magellan and the Straits of Magellan and how he set out and crossed the Atlantic Ocean down through and made their way and discovered the Pacific Ocean. And eventually that voyage circumnavigated the globe, you know? So it's got so many facets to it down there that it's just really an amazing journey for us of, you know, exploration and discovery, self-discovery, and a lot of fun things. This is Port Natalis. This is where you guys live, right?
Exactly. That's where I am right now.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot. We love it there. And it's right the gateway village or town, I guess, that leads into Turistapine National Park. And you see that on the right with these beautiful massif that rises up over the village. As our trips go, basically once people arrive, we pretty much set a time window for them to arrive into the airport connecting through Santiago, and then we journey up that 3-hour super scenic drive up to Puerto Natales, and we spend the first 2 nights in a beautiful lodge right there on the edge of town. And it's really important to us every time people show up that they get a good briefing on what to expect for their trip. This trip is 8 days, so we are going to do a lot of things in those 8 days, and we try to let people give them some safety, give them some insight on what to expect. And then, you know, of course, we have a nice dinner, a welcome dinner, and then we'll check their gear, make sure that they have everything they need, and if they don't, we'll make sure that they get what they need before we head out the following day. So we're going to head into Torostopine National Park, and we're going to spend a series of days up in the national park. The first day we go up, we basically do a number of smaller hikes in different areas. And it gives us a good chance for people to kind of understand the weather and the temperatures they encounter, maybe the winds. You said it's windy right now. It's Patagonia, right? I
Of
mean,
course. That's the whole thing. It's wild and unpredictable, and that's the beauty of it,
yeah,
right?
it's just nature at its finest. You know, it's really, really neat. We'll spend that first day doing that. Then we're back at the lodge for the second night. And then, you know, when we get questions here in the office, a lot of times people are always referring to the W. So I think that this W that we can see really shows what people mean by the W trek that is so famous when we see it advertised. And over the course of the time that we're in the park, we are going to, if you can see my little arrow, head up the French Valley one day, over to the Torre Norte side another day, and up the Gray towards the Gray Glacier another day. So we do all the different components of the W, but I think you'd agree we kind of do it a special way.
Of course. I mean, it's the most important parts of the W trek. We avoid the parts that are not so nice, really, and we do all the highlights. Yeah.
And the places we've had conflicts with. I think the real fun about this trip is the fact that we use a number of catamaran ferries to start our hikes and sometimes finish on the hike that way. And we decided a couple of years ago that you know, one of the things we struggled with was reservations in some of the refugios. You want to talk about that a little bit, Leslie?
Yeah, well, yes, it was, you know, the W trek has become so famous, and because of the natural places, right? The natural features it has. But what happened is that we get so many visitors and the facilities are not so big, are not ready for that too much people. So we did the W trek before and we stayed at the refugios, but what happened is that there's shared rooms, shared bathrooms, you know, cafeteria-like dinners, and all the different services that we couldn't control. We couldn't make them the way WW Trek is specialized for, you know, like really amazing quality. And so Dean had this idea to make, you know, like a Patagonia base camp. And we had the perfect spot that we knew. that we use sometimes, which is a campsite that's on the bank of the Serrano River. So that's the limit of the national park. So we're still on the national park, but we're like a little hidden from the rest of the world because there's no public transportation that can get to this campsite. That's very important. So, you know, even if people know it exists, they can't get to it very easy. So forget about the crowds, right? And then we can cook our own meals. We have this amazing space station, which, you know, that's a photo right there. And so we can control quality of the food, quantity. We can't spoil ourselves more, you know, we can have cuts, we can have all this amazing stuff that you're going to, you know, talk about, I'm sure, Dean.
It's amazing. I mean, you can see here the massif in the background and Torres del Paine National Park. We set up camp in an area like this right on the river. We've got hot showers, we've got flushing toilets for men and women. And
only
then,
for us.
yeah. It's really great. And each one of these tents, we bought 6-person tents and we put cots inside. We provide pillows and sleeping bags and fresh towels and, you know, all the comforts that you want at the end of a fun day in the national park. I think it's really nice to see the dimensions on the tent. It's over 6 feet high. I'm 6 foot. You know, you can walk right in and stand up. It's 10 foot around and it's super, you know, there's definitely plenty of room for 2 cots in there for a couple and plenty of room for their gear as well. They're 4-season tents. They're super, you know, if we do have weather, wind or rain, it's no problem. And then, you know, of course, we're set up with this beautiful backdrop, this beautiful view of the massif in the background there. So that's just fantastic. Also, like you mentioned, the space station tent. I mean, we put, you know, Mono built a platform for it. It's up on a wood platform. It's super dry and comfortable in there. And we set tables up. This is giving a presentation inside. You can see this was one of our larger groups. There's no problem for us to serve really delicious meals, wine, Chilean wine. It's really a real nice alternative for us.
Yeah, we can stay there as long as we wish. There's no, the refugios, there was like, we needed to go to bed at certain time. So this is like only for us. It's like,
and the dining experience, a lot of time in the refugios, you have to get up after your meal to give room for the next group, or maybe there's other people that you don't know in your room and stuff like that. So this is a real private, as we say, Patagonia base glamp. And it's really, really comfortable for our groups because we want to get out and hike each day. We want to get out and explore the national park. We, you know, I think it's really exciting for people and super fun to take these ferry boat catamarans across to start a number of our hikes. You're on the water. There's great views from the water. It also gives us access to go through long periods and then just take a boat ride all the way back and make our way back to base camp each night. Here's Leslie cooking it up in the dining tent. And I know she has help. We all have help. We're all a team that comes together. Leslie, do you want to talk about any of your meals that you like to cook there? I know that.
Yeah, of course I do. I love cooking. And as you said before, I have a garden too. So that's an organic garden that we have here at our house because we have like a little branch. I mean, you know, Dean. So we can, you know, produce a lot of amazing things that we can use on our trips. So that's really, you know, I love gardening and I love making amazing dishes with what I grow. So, you know, so we do, the Patagonia base glamp is so amazing because we can do whatever we want. We do a lot of Chilean dishes, you know, one of the like the most popular ones that all Chileans love. For example, porotos con riendas. I believe you like that very much, Dean.
They're all delicious. It's hard to have a favorite, actually. Yeah.
And then a combination also of like international food. So like for breakfast, for example, we have everything from like scrambled eggs and bacon and different types of breads and cereals and fruit and coffee at all times because I love coffee, so we need to have it.
Fresh ceviche too.
Yeah, the
in the
ceviche is
afternoon.
amazing,
Great.
and of course, pisco sour, different types of wines. So we can spoil ourselves way more,
Uh,
Chilean wines are just so amazing.
yeah, it
And
is.
so, or like, for example, there's a lot of breweries in Natales, local breweries. So we have their beers and we can, have different types of beers. So you can guys like choose and like try different stuff. Or for example, beef, there's a lot of, Patagonia produces a lot of really good beef, and it's like free range. So that's, all these different local products that we can, have in the base lamp are amazing.
Yeah, it
Like homemade calafate tart. I love the calafate tart.
is.
An old lady makes them in town. So we buy the tarts from her, and they're like so good. Calafate it's an endemic berry from Patagonia. So, I can be talking more and more about food, Dean, but
Well, food's an important part of the trip, I think, for any trip. Lodging, food, good transportation, comfortable accommodations, and we really work hard to provide it all. You can see here,
and
a
soya.
linguine with king crab. I mean, the nice Chilean
Exactly.
wine, a nice dessert that they're getting ready to serve. Really, really is important to us, and really important because I think the group works hard. They're outside all day, they're hiking, they're enjoying the activities, and it just helps really complement the whole situation that we're in. So, what we do is 2 nights in the lodge at the beginning to get going, and then we're 3 nights at Patagonia Base Camp, which is a perfect amount of time. We get to go up all 3 areas of the W that we want to explore, and then we are able to, not extend it too long. We really, it's a perfect amount of time up there, and
Yeah.
I think it's really fun. During the days we bring these great packed lunches, and people can sit down and just take in the nature and really just enjoy full days exploring in the national park, learning about things, seeing the icebergs in the lakes, and the huge glaciers. I mean, it's really a fantastic experience up there, down there. I mean, I really just can't speak enough about how fun and you know, multiple different activities that keep it really fun. We do quite a bit of hiking, and can see here the large gray glacier coming down, and some crab salad, see king crab salad, and one of the ferry boats coming in to pick us up. And then, of course, after a few days, it's time to say goodbye to our Patagonia base camp. I like this photo because it shows how large a dining tent that we do have. There's a table for serving in the back there where we set up our coffee and our breakfast stuff in the morning. This was an extra large special interest group that we had. So we had about 20 people, and they're all very comfortable sitting down and dining in there. We have solar lights. It's all lit up. We have electricity at the base camp. People can charge their phones and camera batteries, things like that. So it works out really good. But when we do say goodbye to base camp, we have a fun way to get out of there and to get back down to Puerto Natales. I think it's really special. We you can see everybody in these big orange jackets, or in this picture, these huge snowmobile style suits. And basically, we get in these large Zodiacs, private for just our group, and we go down the river, right? The Serrano River.
Yeah.
And you just see so much, birds on the water, and about a third of the way down, we get off the raft. We hike down around a waterfall, and then we get in a second raft, short hike, 10 minutes or so. And then we continue down, and we go right out into the mouth of the fjord on this trip we did, and we're seeing the waterfalls coming down, the glaciers above, and then we get to pull in and do this short hike up to the Serrano Glacier, and it's just phenomenal. It's a great way to experience us leaving the national park area from our base camp. And as we get on that ferry boat, we go for what is about an hour and a half or so before we stop at the estancia, something like that.
It's about an hour for
Yeah,
the new big boat. Yeah,
yeah.
an
We
hour.
get on this large boat and we can relax inside. You can go out on deck, take photographs, and then we pull into this estancia where we have this big lunch meal with barbecue and wine and salad and potatoes. It's really nice, just with the group and just another fabulous day in Torres del Paine. It's really hard to see on this map, but we're up in this upper area of the W, and then we come down to the mouth of the river, and then we get on this fjord and we make our way all the way back down to Porto Natalis. We basically dock in the ferry boat just outside of Porto Natalis, and then we go back into Natalis, and we usually stay at a different hotel on the way out. And the reason we do that is because it's a little closer to town where people can explore, go souvenir shopping, the things that they like to do on a trip, a little bit of time to go just roam around. Because Natalis is a neat town with a lot of shops and galleries and things like that. I guess as we conclude our trip, we spend our last day after we spend the night at the hotel in Natalis. We go to a ranch, an estancia just outside of town. You can see the gaucho cowboy here on the right. And we do a day of horseback riding. It's usually a couple hour horseback ride. So it's just a perfect length of time for a horseback ride. And then, of course, we celebrate by having one of the traditional Chilean lamb asados cooked over open coals. And I like this. I know you're a vegetarian, right?
You'll love this, Dean. I know you love it.
It's amazing. This is something that's super special to our, experience down there in Patagonia. It's a real traditional way. This lamb is cooked over, open fire for the entire time we're out for the day. They start early doing this, and
Very early.
you can see the horseback riding. We're on the water, and it's just a really fun way to finish things up down there with one more really fun group meal and the lamb asado and all that. So I think that Patagonia is an amazing destination. Leslie, I guess right now you're going into you're in your summer. So do you
Yes.
want to just explain the seasons? I did last week, but why don't you tell us why the seasons down there, are what we like?
Yeah, well, Patagonia, yeah, it's a very, as we said before, a very extreme place, very wild and extreme. So it's the same with the seasons, because we're at the end of the world. So the winter time, it's quite drastic. We have like very low temperatures, a lot of snow, and very dark because we're very close to the South Pole. So the days are very short. So we do the season in springtime and summer because springtime is so beautiful, all green and lush, and the days start to get so long. So that's really beautiful. The temperatures are awesome, and we have very very long days.
And
So
unlike us, your summertime is December, January, February, which is
exactly.
normally our winter time.
Exactly. That's very weird to understand. For me, it was. But yeah, we're at the southern hemisphere. So exactly, we're completely the opposite. So December, Christmas for us is, summer. So yeah, so we're in summer right now. I'm with my t-shirt, so that's great.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so springtime and summer, we can get more wind and like different, temperature changes a lot. So Patagonia can be very wild and unpredictable weather. And that's the beauty of it. As I said before, you can have the 4 seasons in a day. And that's something that really happens. And it's just so crazy to go through that. It's like in the morning it can be raining and cloudy and you're like, oh my God, are we going trekking? And then like half an hour after, it's like sunny and there's a rainbow and it's like so beautiful. So it's very, very special place. And so that's why our next WW trek will be November, because springtime for us, it's, for me especially, it's like one of the best seasons there is, if not the best one. Because summer also, there's more people coming. So summer is good too, but more crowded and more like unpredictable weather in the summer. So springtime is a really amazing time to come.
And we explain a lot more of this in our trip detail. When you sign on for a trip, we send you a trip detail. It's got everything you need to know, from the accommodation to the day-to-day itinerary, to the length of the hikes, to the types of food, to any special needs that you might have. It's always going to finish up with a packing list. So you've got all of the information. As Leslie talks about the changing weather, it's important to have the right gear and the packing list. So you're bringing what you need and not all the things that you don't need, which is super important on a trip like this. Any of our trips, that's very important. But we're going to consult you here from the office. We're going to help you get prepared, so when you do go down there, we've got everything you need to just hit the ground down in Punta Arenas and have a fabulous time. So one of the add-ons that we do on the back end, people can go see the penguins. I know that that's something that's really desirable for people. It's a one-night extra stay in Punta Arenas, and then you take a boat out to the island, see the penguins, spend the day, do a cultural tour in the afternoon, and then that night you have dinner on your own, and then the following day you go to the airport. So it's a nice way to add on an extra day and see something really special like the penguins too. But yeah, it's hard to beat all the beauty and all the fun that we have down there in Patagonia. Leslie, I got a couple questions here.
Yeah, of course.
So let's see here. I can stop sharing my screen, I think. So here it says, I am a vegetarian. Can you cater to vegetarian diets? I think it's a fact, seeing the lamb there and talking about all the things that I like to eat.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see more vegetarians, Dean. Yes. So yeah, the answer is yes. We have vegetarian options or vegan options too. Also gluten-free, because now that there's more people eating different, so we can cater all the options. There's no problem at all. As I said before, we have an organic garden and we have really amazing veggies. We grow from different leaves, like mustard leaves and rockets and lettuces, to like tomatoes and zucchinis and pumpkins and everything. So yeah, vegetarian. I mean, even for the non-vegetarian, they can enjoy all those goods.
The good stuff too.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking here about the group size. What is the group size? I think the photos that I show, the base camp group inside is a little bigger than we normally do. That was a special interest group with one of the alumni groups we brought down there. So they had more like 20 people, but usually our groups are going to be minimum 6. We need 6 people to at least set up that base glamp area. And then we top out 12 to 14 people. I think that's a nice size for dining, for transportation, for groups to meet new people and kind of interact and not have the experience be too crowded for them. I find that to be a really nice option. Like Leslie said, that their summer season is a great time. We're planning our trips for November and early December in 2021. We're hoping that everybody's comfortable to be traveling again sometime throughout the summer into the fall, and then that would be a perfect time for people to get back out and explore, come down to Patagonia and have a really fun time. For us, like I said, when you sign on or send our office in a member agreement, they will send you a trip detail. It has all of the information here that you're going to need. We're always here to help consult you along the way. And right now we're taking our trips with no upfront deposit because there's a little uncertainty about people signing up, wondering if we can go or not. We're hoping by the fall that things are more comfortable for travel, and we can start the process by putting you on the list by sending in a member agreement. And then as the trip nears and it looks like we're comfortable to go, then of course we can collect our deposit and our payment and go from there. So I want to thank Leslie for joining us today. Thanks for taking time way down there. You feel like you're right close by, it's
Yeah, I know. I feel like you're here, Dean. That
wish I
we're going
was.
trekking, in a couple of hours.
Last year I did 2 trips down there in a row.
You were
This
here for a very long time last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had a
and it's
blast.
really fun. I really enjoy it. We love the groups. It's really fun. I think both like myself and Leslie, Christian down there in Patagonia, when you run these kind of trips, it's part of what you really enjoy, and that's why it's a pleasure to have you here today. Is because you enjoy hosting people in your local area. You enjoy showing people nature and a good time, and that's what we try to do throughout. And yeah, if you have questions, contact us at Worldwide Trekking and go to our website. You can see all the information online. Thanks, Leslie, for joining us. And
Thanks, Dean.
look forward to seeing you down there in Patagonia in the fall season, in our fall and early winter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for today.
Okay.
Bye,
Take care.
everyone.
Bye-bye.